Thanks for checking out the BoshNRoll channel. If you want to see me play your deck, hang out with me in the amazing BoshNRoll community in Discord, access to my lists and sideboard guides before tournaments, book an individual coaching session, or just generally want to support what's going on here, check out the Patreon and YouTube membership options. For the finest Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, use code BoshNRoll for 10% off your order at coalesceapparel.shop. Moxfield.com is the easiest way to build a Magic deck online. If you want to play what I'm playing, use my affiliate link to support the channel while you shop for cards at tcgplayer.com and play any deck anytime on Magic Online with a cardhoarder.com loan account. Thanks for being here. Let's go play some Magic. Welcome back to the BoshNRoll channel. Today, I'm playing Vintage Cube. I did one of these a couple weeks ago. I usually do one per season just for the channel, but subscriber Femi is really excited about Vintage Cube. He and I have been working through a lot of drafts together, off camera, and he wanted to get a couple more of these in on the channel before they went away. This is number 1 of 2 that I'm going to do for him. The other one will be up next week. While we wait for this draft to fire, I'll do the usual caveat that I am familiar with high power cards. I'm not a dedicated cuber though. I'm no Caleb Durward, I'm no Ryan Overturf. If you want the billion IQ, fundamentally understand cubing version of this, go check out those creators. If you want to see a legacy and vintage expert play with the cards in unpredictable fashion, here we go. We're in pack 1. I will work on this shaping as the draft goes on. I'm not usually set up for limited, just let me work on this in the background. But we've got Mox is the most busted card here. Counterspell and Preordain I like. Orzhov Signet is ramp. It makes a certain color, but it doesn't care what color it gets off the ground with. I'm not going to force Storm or do anything busted. I think I still want the Chrome Mox, though. Just fast mana in Vintage. Good. Gitaxian Probe is pretty safe that it's going to make my deck. Phyrexian Metamorph is a nice one. That's pretty safe that it's going to make the deck, too. So I think I like Probe better. Okay, I've fixed the draft. You can see all the cards now, and they're bigger. Close call. Vaccine Probe. Take it. I love a Tangle Wire, but this, I guess we're not really a blue deck. Both of these cards cost 0 mana. I'm not going to first pick, or third pick Tangle Wire. We'll get it on the wheel if I end up wanting it. Remand's interesting. Terasti Nasty gives us outs for a Show and Tell or Reanimator situation. Gaia's Cradle. We have 0 creatures so far. Blue-green opposition is one of my favorite things to do in a cube. And Cradle goes into that, but there's a chance we end up not even playing that if we don't have creatures. Bayou as a dual land is generally pretty safe. Smuggler's Copter goes into aggro or various combo decks. I think I'm taking the Bayou. Bolas's Citadel. Citadel is very exciting. That's also a payoff for Tinker, Show and Tell. Could just build a blue-black control deck that could cast it somehow, or a green-black ramp deck. Here's Arbor Elf, would have gone nice with that Cradle. I think Timeless Lotus rules, but I'm not going to pick it this early. Yeah, I'm going to take the Citadel. Spec on that big guy. Hold out the Forge Master can put Citadel into play. Ponder is safe. Hard to argue with that one. Don't think I'm a Ravages deck. Theotor's Proving Ground gets me red added to my mana base. It's a Bayou plus red. I already have the Bayou. I'm going to see 3 of these cards again. I'm going to take the Ponder and give Kuldotha the Forge Master a chance to wheel. Toss's Oracle. I don't think I'm set up for that one yet. Jace Vryn's Prodigy is cool. Force of Portal is just a personal Howling Mine. I think I like Jace here. Batterskull, I'm not really in a spot where I need some 5-drop creature with stats. I'm still trying to figure out what my deck actually does. I'm going to grab this Jace. Go to Druid, another card that would have gone well with that. Gaia's Cradle earlier. Miscalculation and Mana Leak. Comparable cards, 1 S cycling, 1 counters things better. Battle Ball is another payout for a Tinker, or if I wheel that Forge Master. Mana Leak could just go into a control deck, though. I'm going to see one of these cards again. I think I want the Leak. If I took the Forge Master, I would have taken Battle Sphere, but we're not there. Hero's Downfall is pretty safe. If I end up in a blue-black control deck here, it's a card I'll be happy to have. Nurturing Peatland is another Bayou, but I'm not really using the first one yet. Revoker is an artifact that I can play if I end up in that tinkery space that I want to be in. I'm also not married to black yet. Bolus's Citadel is a black card, but I'm mostly trying to cheat into play, but ended up with it anyway. This is my pack again. Wield the Preordain. Woe Strider is the other card I could consider here. Botanical Sanctum can get me another green pip on a blue land, leaving green a little more open. Still interested in Preordain. Metamorph. I mentioned that the first time around. Yep, that works for me. Tanglewire. Mentioned that the first time around too. That's not good in a control deck. It is an artifact. Horizon Canopy is the only other real option, unless I take Terrastodon and try to spec on Reanimator or Show and Tell. I'm gonna grab Tanglewire. Ball Ritual. If this deck gets broken, this is how it happens. Wield my Forge Master. Let's go. All right, we have one Tinker. And Evolved Sleeper. I am kind of in black. And Braid's Arisen Nightmare. Probably not playing that, but there it is. Okay, we got a little blue-black control deck with a Tinker eject button. Disappointed I didn't get the Battle Sphere, but I am happy with the mana leak. We passed Counterspell in this pack, and I do want some amount of protection and interaction in my control deck. Okay, there's Mox Pearl. That's probably going to be the take. We're a Tinker deck, or a Tinker-esque deck, with an artifact sub-theme. I like this Mystic Confluence, but obviously it's not better than Mox Pearl. Might even catch that on the wheel. This Oko is tempting. I'm taking the Mox. I'm just talking through the pack. Steam Vents has upside. Darkslick Shores is an on-color dual land. I would be happy to see Confluence, Oko, Darkslick Shores, or Steam Vents on the wheel. Right, Mox, get in my pile. There's my opposition. Could have had the Cradle opposition deck. It's all good. Timeless Lotus didn't wheel, by the way. Seeing the Golos just put that into my brain. Spell Pierce is a card I could have. This fetch land that's not touching any of my colors, Retrofitter Foundry, is a source of many little artifacts. I currently only have 3.5 creatures in my deck. Gush is powerful, but I think I want this Retrofitter. Wormcoil Engine. That's a big artifact. Hullbreaker Horror is a big blue idiot. I do like big blue idiots in my control deck. Tar Pit, another on-color duel. The Revi is also interesting. I am not in red yet. I didn't get that Steam Vents. I think I want Wormcoil. Is 6 mana and artifact theme versus 7 mana and is a blue card. I think I'm gonna stick to my theme. This pack has Toxic Deluge in it. Thirst for Discovery, draw 3, discard 2 unless you discard a basic land. Could play that. Brazen Borrower is reasonable. We're not really doing Reanimator or Show and Tell stuff for Iona. I'm looking at the Deluge, but yeah, Brazen Borrower and Toxic Deluge both help you from getting just run over. Brazen Borrower has a little more control to it. Porcelain Legionnaire is an artifact that you can cast in any deck, but I'm not that desperate for artifacts. I'm going to take the Borrower. Yawgmoth's Will, Reekmaw, Ulamog that is not an artifact, and I don't have any way to ramp it in. Phantasmal Image isn't bad either. It's between Shriekmaw, Everflowing Chalice, and Yawgwill for me. Am I doing anything cool with Yawgwill? Not really. Like I could probably cast it and like refire Gitaxian Probe, but that seems medium. Perfection's good too. I think I'm gonna take the Shriekmaw. It's kind of a safe middle of the road pick. Scarab God, Ophiomancer, Shark Typhoon. Oh my god, the BoshNRoll brand is in this pack. Shark Typhoon. Scarab God is a big ol' monster that ashes out other big ol' monsters. I'm not touching white enough that Dam is something I want. Ophiomancer is solid for a control build, but so is Shark Typhoon. I love Shark Typhoon. Yeah, I'm in. It's Shark Typhoon time. Tell me I'm wrong. Signet versus Wishclaw. Mishra's Workshop also. And not playing Workshop in this deck, so it is tempting. Wishclaw versus on-color, half-color Signet. I think I'm more of a Signet deck. Yeah, I just have a lot of big expensive things. Elder Drake Mind's Desire. Oh man. I am a blue deck with Cabal Ritual and 2 Moxen. Could also just grab a Star Confidant, but my top end is a little chonky. I'm not forcing Storm. That's not happening, but Value Mind's Desire is a thing that could occur. No, it's Star Confidant. Let's go. I don't care about my chonky top end. Come at me. I wield the dual land. I think that's better than Liliana. Wield the opposition too. Do I have enough creatures to support this now? I've picked up Dark Confidant and Brazen Borrower since last time we looked at this card. Oh, I have Retrofitter Foundry. I'm going to take opposition on spec. I think that's probably better than the other card that was in that pack that I've already forgotten. All right, Duretti on spec versus Thran Dynamo. That will be in the deck. Dynamo may or may not actually make the deck. All right, I'll take Duretti. I don't have a red source yet. Probably not going to play that one, but I have it. And Blooming Marsh. That's another green land if anything green shows up. Fingerback Walker is better than these red cards for me. Damn, back anyway. And got the Workshop back anyway. Let's see if I can make this a Workshop deck in pack 3. That'll be exciting. Got a solid curve here. There's a little bit of disjointed stuff happening with the Cabal Ritual and the Tangle Wire. Those frequently don't go in the same deck. Okay, we have another Mox. It's also the red one that can cast Derevi. Duretti? Who is this? Duretti. Derevi is the bird. Fairy, I'm not in white, nowhere near white. Ugin's not an artifact that I can power out. Tree is pretty cool. Yeah, Treachery and Grave Titan are the cards that I'd like to wheel from this pack. I guess Marsh Flats I could use too, but I'm taking the Mox. There's a Mox Diamond here. I'm way past the boat on Exhume, I think. Inquisition of Kozilek is meaningful interaction. Goblin Welder is a tough beat because that goes with the Derevi. It goes with the artifact sub-theme of my deck, but it's also a red card that I'll have to support somehow if I play it. It's currently only being supported off Mox Ruby. In Derevi wield, Workshop wield, Forge Master wield, I might wield a Welder as well. I'm just going to leave that in the pack for now. And could take Scalding Tarn. That fetches a basic mountain if I need to play one, and one of my base colors in blue. Mox Diamond is the other consideration. I think it's Mox Diamond. I'll go for that. The Ancient Tomb, not bad in this deck. I do have a lot of things that like to have mana spent on them. Baleful Strix, just straight up blue-black value card. Supports both the control side and the artifact side. Thirst is fine. Vamp Tutor is the most objectively powerful card in this pack, I think. But subjectively, it's only as good as your cards are. And I don't have a Show and Tell or a Tinker or anything to dig for. This Leovold actually gets cast off my various green sources. Almost for free. And it's not for free, I don't have a fetch land. Mox Diamond though. Do I want Leovold here? I think I do. Suddenly these green lands cashing out. Thundering Titan. Big artifact energy. Ashiok, the Choop, and Massacre Worm are all picks for my control deck. And then Sundering Titan is a pick for my artifact deck. I have Wormcoil and Bolas' Citadel at the top end. Yeah, I don't think I need Sundering Titan. I don't have anything that combos with Crucible. Oh, there's a Badlands right here. What am I doing? Been talking about how I'm gonna pay for my red spells that are good. Yeah, I'm just taking this Badlands. Dismember Cityscape Leveler. Hello. I'm gonna reserve Cityscape Leveler for now and then look at my removal situation. I've got Shriekmaw. Opposition is pseudo removal. Hero's Downfall, Brazen Borrower. Damn. Yeah, I don't think Dismember adds anything interesting to this deck. Cityscape Leveler gives me a giant payoff though. Hallowed Fountain, I haven't taken any white cards. Ancestral Vision, not interested. I could splash Hydroid Graces off the green. Same green that's casting Leovold, but I'm just going to put this big artifact in my deck. Tendrils of Agony, no thanks. Unlicensed Hearse is an artifact that does things in the format. Blackleaf Glyphs is a dual land that touches a base color in red. Yeah, I think I'm gonna just keep pushing on these red lands and hope that Welder comes back around. Underground Sea and Duress. Duress is cool, but I don't think it's better than this on-color duel. Underground Sea, get in. Blightsteel Colossus, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, also Tolarian Academy. Damn. Why would you do this to me? Okay. Blightsteel would replace Cityscape Leveler in the deck if I do this. This is my last new pick of the draft. There's not going to be a Show and Tell. There's not going to be a Tinker. There's not going to be a Sneak Attack. Custodial Lich fits my blue-black control deck better. All right, we're going Blightsteel. And the things in this deck for me are basically nothing. I guess I'll take the Ugin. There's that Goblin Welder. Good news, everybody. We kind of needed that. Goblin Welder's in. Baleful Strix on the wheel. I thought about that one the first time through as well. Nothing else in this pack for me. Ashiok on the wheel as well. Yep. Maelstrom Pulse I can technically cast. Night Memories and Poetic Ritual. These are both bad. I guess I'll take the memories though. Thanks for the memories, even if they weren't so great. Blood Tithe Harvester is our Christmas gift. Okay, let's look at this deck now. There should be some easy cuts. Blood Tithe Harvester. Didn't really get into Cabal Ritual. Maelstrom Pulse. I'm going to read Braids real quick. I play this in EDH, and it plays better than it reads, but I don't know if it translates into Cube. At the beginning of your end step, you may sacrifice an artifact, creature, enchantment, land, or planeswalker. If you do, each opponent may sacrifice a permanent that shares a type with it. Or each opponent who doesn't, that player loses 2 life and you draw a card. I can trade my permanents in play for maybe my opponent's permanents, or I draw a card. You're on watch, but okay. The not playing list versus the watch list. Leovold, I can decide if that's worth being green for. I even have Simic Signet. It's Simic Signet, Blooming Marsh, and Bayou, and Mox Diamond. This Leovold's probably in the deck. How many creatures do I have? There are 15 creatures in this deck. How many of them cost 5 or more? Because that doesn't help with opposition. Damn that I can't kick or overload. I think I'm just going to cut that. Black, destroy a creature. I got a lot of that going on already. This is currently 40 cards, but we do need to make room for some more lands, even though I drafted a lot of them. Workshop's on the maybe list. Workshop does cast Bolas' Citadel. I don't know. I'll circle back to Workshop. I don't think I'm an Ugin deck. They'll Ignite Memories easily. Time to reread Evolved Sleeper. How long does this take to get going? Comes a 2/2. Becomes a 3/3 Death Touch. And then put a +1 counter on it. Draw 1 life. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana for your first card draw. Probably not interested in that. You're in the maybes. Raids can go into the maybes. Having both Duretti and Goblin Welder makes me want Cityscape Leveler, which is worse than Blightsteel with Kuldotha Forge Master, but better than Blightsteel with the Graveyard Recursion. And Cityscape Leveler is fine with Forge Master. Blightsteel's the best thing to get with that, probably in the cube. But Leveler has more synergies with my deck. Because I have Jace Vryn's Prodigy, which is a looter. Currently 6 spots are open. That's 12 lands. I have 2 straight up Moxen and then 2 conditional Moxen. One of them is unfortunately the land Mox, which normally playing Moxen lets you cheat on land count, but Mox Diamond demands lands to be a functional magic card. I'm currently at 12 creatures after all my cuts, and 4 of them are big elbow tap monsters, and one of them is a clone, which isn't a creature unless there's already a creature. I think opposition is finally getting the axe. The Cityscape Leveler, slightly better with Bolas' Citadel and Dark Confidant than Blightsteel Colossus as well. Yeah, a lot of tiebreakers going in the direction of the less powerful card in a vacuum. Got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 artifacts low on the curve that can flip into the bigger artifacts. Yeah, I like that. Maybe I don't need Bolas' Citadel. Is that Can that be true? Because if I play blue-black control long enough, I can just cast Bolas to Citadel. Forge Master will probably get Leveler or Wormcoil most of the time, but in an emergency eject situation, Citadel's pretty nice. I think I'm talking myself out of Citadel right now. I'd have to be really behind on a board state to want to get Citadel over Leveler. And how far behind could I possibly be if I'm activating Forge Master? So I'm planning for a world where I draw and cast Bolas to Citadel from behind, where I have enough life total to leverage it in my deck. That's not exactly low to the ground. Yeah, I think I talked myself out of Citadel, and if I'm not playing Citadel, then Mishra's Workshop is also done. Filling the 8 available spots now will give me 14 lands. I think I need at least 2 more. Signet and the 2 Moxen. And Ashiok is solid in blue-black control, but it's not really doing anything for our artifact theme. Doesn't impact the board or help me stay alive or add artifacts to anything. Ashiok's one of those cards that takes over a stable board, which I'm not sure we're going to be having that often. Gitaxian Probe is awkward because I do have 3 cantrips, and Probe is the worst of them, but they're all good with Jace. And cutting Probe for another card, Probe is the closest thing to just an empty deck space playing 39 that we get. Maybe 15 lands with 2 Moxen and Gitaxian Probe, and then 2 conditional Moxen, it's fine. Magic Online recommends a forest and a mountain. I'm not doing either of those. I'm letting my artifacts do that work. I am mostly base blue. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, every land that's already in my deck makes black. Okay. Literally every single one. If I go 5-4, I would have 5, 6, 7 blue sources and 10 black sources. You can go a little different on that. Now it's 7 and 9 in favor of black. I'm going to go deeper. Now it's 7 and 8. In Ponder Preordain and Jace get the show on the road. I think I'm going to heavily skew towards islands. This gives me 10 blue sources and 7 black. 9 and 8 now. Yeah, I think 9 blue, 8 black, plus whatever the Moxen and Signets come up with. And we do have options in the sideboard here. If the matchup is slow and controlling, Ashiok is there. If we need to cheese, we could bring Blightsteel or Citadel back. Tanglewire is breaking my heart. I love that card. And we have Goblin Welder to loop it and do crazy things, but we're not really a great Tanglewire deck. We have Dam if we need more removal. Sleeper if we need to pressure. Okay, this looks like a fine deck to go in with. Let's do it.
This video is sponsored by Moxfield.com, the easiest way to build Magic decks online. Moxfield supports over 30 formats, including Legacy and every other format you'll see on this channel. They have multiple customizations so you can view your deck how you want. Text view, stacks, grid, custom grouping by type, subtype, color, light mode, dark mode. However you want to see your deck, they can provide it for you. My favorite feature is you can choose your set printing, make the deck look exactly how you want it to. The deck screen features expandable sections that show you what tokens your deck makes, your recent change history to the deck, stats about mana curve and opening hand distribution, mana cost distribution. You can deal out sample hands and even play test the deck. Island Ponder. You know I'm keeping this one. This site has everything. Follow me on Moxfield.com to keep up with decks I'm playing for the channel and what I'm up to in paper. I'll see you there.
I'm on the play in round 1. I have turn 2 Jace, and my mana is just humming, but if Jace gets answered or he gets dumpstered, this hand sucks. I am going to keep. Let's do it. Look at this Blackleaf Cliffs, Dark Cliff Shores, Blooming Marsh setup that I have. It's the perfect 3 land opener. Mountain. Oh, that's probably bad. If Jace eats it, to Lightning Bolt or whatever, my hand gets a lot worse. Jigmaw's nice though, especially against red, white. It's per Sentinel, sure, right on time. And I'll play the Blooming Marsh, complete the perfect setup here. And what would I play right now? Signet, a Strix, Dark Confidant. Okay, yeah, there's plenty of stuff to motivate an activation here. Oh, Metamorph. I can get my own Sentinel. I discard this basic island. I don't think I want a Sentinel. Jace is a legend, can't copy that. Yeah, Metamorph can be another Shriekmaw or another Wormcoil later. Goblin Rabblemaster. Alright, well, that needs to be shrieked upon. Taking my one. Another basic island. I could leave back Jace to block. I could also draw a Mox and hardcast Shriekmaw this turn. Yeah, activate Jace. Retrofitter. I like that. I like it a lot. I'm going to play Retrofitter and pay the Troll Toll. No extra cards on my watch. And then I can evoke Shriekmaw. I think that is correct. I'm so close to hardcasting it, but you don't mess around with a Rabblemaster. Wormcoil Engine is now the plan. They have the battle display and Retrofitters in the graveyard. Emerth Shieldbreaker is the front name of that card. Oh, I had the Chain Lightning too. Okay. And Looter Scooter. Sure. Wormcoil Engine, you're up, buddy. Time to draw a Mox and just jam this, buddy. Oh, I have the mana to do this eventually. Now the question is, do I want to metamorph one of these shitty permanents or just have a second Wormcoil 2 turns from now? And I think the second Wormcoil is going to end the game. It's got a fade, Path to Exile. Scooter's getting in. And remember when you could just put Smuggler's Copter in normal Magic decks? What a messed up card that was. Light up the stage. I found Mishra's Bauble and Fire Blast. Okay. I don't think that Fire Blast is going to get cast. This is Shieldbreaker. They're down to 1 card in hand. Bauble will make it 2. Pulled out the Forge Master, which they just saw. And the Worm Daddy. In we go. They have 3 damage that I can't block, and they can send 4 at my face. They'd still need to come up with 6 more somewhere. A lot of damage. Uh-oh, they're spending mana. Undermaw Hellkite. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, I'm at 1 on board if they go for the Fire Blast. That was a close call. And I think the second Wormcoil isn't even good enough here. Oh, they didn't Fire Blast. Wow, that's good news for me. And I drew a 3 mana answer to Thundermaw Hellkite. Ship it. Wormcoil Engine, get in. Jump block, I go to 11. And go to 9 to play Metamorph. And then also answer the Thundermaw. Yeah, I think this is worth it. Bang. Second Wormcoil. And I'm going to hold up the Hero's Downfall. They get to draw a card off Esper Sentinel with it. But it would have to be pretty good to beat the second Wormcoil. Ruin the Scooter. I'm determining if I want to let them loot first and think that they're getting in for 8 here. Yeah, I think looting first is better for me. If they made a decision based on me having 5 less life than I do, versus the possibility of drawing some protection spell. I don't even know what protection spells are in red-white. Is God's Willing in this cube? I don't know. They do have 3 cards in hand, though. They drew an extra one off the Esper Sentinel. Just bolt here. 2 lightning bolt variants. Bolt Incinerate. Untighten. Okay. Gets back Rabblemaster, or do you want Mishra's Bauble? Figure of Destiny? Rabblemaster's back. Okay, we are really just hamming in here with these gigantic creatures that I have. And do I just attack with both? If I leave 1 back, it tangles with Sun Titan, and they have a forced attack on Rabblemaster anyway. But gaining 12 life now is kind of a relief. Yeah, I'm just hamming in. I'm at 18. And I'm going to play the Colossal Forge Master that they know about. I don't think there's a reason to play out my land. Unless it's limited and we're just throwing bombs at each other and what am I bluffing anyway? Just shove it. Maybe that's a reason to play out my land. I can forge next turn if I need to. Ooh. This adversary can be kicked 1 time. Okay. Can cast Light Up the Stage or Chain Lightning. What is the mana value? 3 or less, yeah. They're going for Chain Lightning. Putting 3 damage on my Forge Master. Sure. On Lightning Helix to finish it off. Okay. This is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 damage. Wow. Made a real run at this. Didn't crew the Scooter, though. So this is slightly less damage. Sun Titan's doing a good job keeping things competitive, though. I need a spell here. Okay. Yeah, immediately punished for not running out my land last turn, because now I have less to pay for Esper Sentinel with. I'm just not going to pay for Sentinel. One of us is dead this turn. Is that true? What's in my deck? All right. I've got Brazen Borrower, Shark Typhoon, Hangerback Walker, Helpful Strix. I'm going to go to 12, and they have to lose one of these creatures. Probably the Figure of Destiny. I am not paying. Yeah, I'm actually in the position where I need to make something happen here. Mox Ruby 2 lands. We shuffle this Ponder. Uh-oh. Should have paid for the thing. Who knew? Well, if I attack with one of these, I gain some life. What evasive creatures do they have? Their goblin tokens have to attack. Yeah, I look like a giant idiot for not paying for that Esper Sentinel. I really thought looking at 4 cards in my limited deck would result in a spell, but it just didn't. They have 2 goblins that have to fight, and then a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, okay, crewing Smuggler's Copter with a goblin makes sense. Okay. I'm gonna double block the goblin. Gain 12 life. I hope. Yep. That worked out pretty well. They didn't attack with anything else because of the Worm Coils back. Okay, deck, let's keep something going here. Ooh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 is the magic number. I'm gonna level their cityscape and destroy Sun Titan. Sun Titan, GTFO. And does it make sense to attack now? Yeah, it does. I'll get in 1 attack here, leave back 1 blocker. They still have a goblin that has to fight. Back to 20 life. It's like they haven't done anything this game. Other than not paying for this Esper Sentinel. And maybe I attacked a little early last game. Or last, like 2 turn cycles ago. Maybe I should have been holding back Worm Coil. They can go to 8/8 mode, which does have first strike. Oh god, what is this? Exile the top 4 cards of your library. Until your next turn, you may play those cards. Okay. Well, the old draw 4. No removal, please. Student of Warfare, Seasoned Pyromancer, Thraben Inspector. This is a lot of card selection with the Inspector and the Seasoned Pyromancer. Sort of feast and famine. Okay. All my creatures are colorless currently. And getting in with the Scooter. Oh, yeah, they can equip. Right, flying. Using the Power Stone. This is an outrage. Okay, this stupid little goblin still has to attack. They do get to untap all of their lands. I end up with more life than I had at the start of combat. Okay. All right. That was wild. I thought the second Worm Coiled had it. I think I attacked a little too aggressively early on. Like I should have stopped attacking 1 turn earlier than I did. Luckily, got away with it anyway. Ugin is a closer in this matchup. Just the -X. Damn is removal. I need to be alive a little longer. We did see significant burn in their deck. They have Fire Blast, Chain Lightning, Lightning Helix. Braids is lose life, not gain life. I don't think I need to go all the way in on Maelstrom Pulse, but it doesn't seem bad either. I might not have time to mess around with Dark Confidant in this matchup. That may have killed me. I was basically dead, had to gain, what did I gain? 36 life that game to really be comfortable. I think I'm going to cut Gataxian Probe as well. I don't really care what's in their hand, all things considered, as a red-white deck, and it's probably not worth 2 life to see. So I did select my mana base with Gataxian Probe in mind, and I'm just going to hope that doesn't punish me. In we go. Okay, this Chromox pitching Leovold gets all my colors. If I find a different green source, I could just play the Leo. This is easily a keep, though. Fisher's Factory pass. Got it. Damn. Just going to play Dark Slick Shores and pass the turn. None of my spells are instants. There's no reason to commit Chrome Mox to anything yet. See if they just get a cheeky 2 in. Yeah, they do. Expect it. Green source. Ooh, Ponder. I will cast Ponder. Mox Diamond gets me Leovold. We've seen Artifact Destruction already, and that's okay. Retrofitter, get in there. Yeah, Leovold's pretty dope. Lightning Helix, draw a card. Travel Master, pain in my ass. Okay, I'm drawing an island next turn. I can have 4 mana now. 4 mana doesn't do anything. Mox Diamond makes a white, but I have no way to make another white. Damn really is just point and click or destroy target creature. There is no Wrath mode. I'm gonna get rid of the Rabble. And yeah, I think that's the play. This Chrome Mox looking worse and worse every turn the game goes on. Arid Mesa from the opponent. What horrible 4-drop is waiting me. Mishra's Factory, sure. Get in for 3. Don't have mana for a servo. Oh, they just shipped it. That's fun. I think it's time for Leovold. Mox Diamond. Discard the island and play Leo. Blue, black, green. Lightning Helix me in response. Okay, rather than kill Leovold, they wanted to go face. That's slightly scary. Sword of Feast and Famine. Okay, that does let their goblin just trade with my Leo. Oh, no, it doesn't, because I can't block it. Right. Leovold is a black card. That's a beating. Yeah, this Retrofitter Foundry, just a mana behind, dumping the Chrome Mox. And I'm at 8 now. And they get all their mana back. Moment of truth. Do you have something to do with all this mana? Last turn, they just activated Mishra's Factory and attacked instead of jamming some 4-drop. Let's hope that continues. Okay, that continued. Pull out the Forge Master. Shriekmaw doesn't do anything. Yeah, I think I just need to leave up Retrofitter Foundry and try to start stabilizing. Out of mana here. Can't Shriekmaw this creature. It has Pro Black. God, is this the dragon? Ravages of War, huh? You want to destroy all lands. I have a Mox. You don't have a Mox. But it's not going to matter for long. Alright, I'll make a servo, I guess. Oh, they did float red. I guess floating red is free. That doesn't necessarily mean anything, but if they lightning bolt here, you just bash. Oh, Mizzium Mortars. You get to draw a card. And it's a land. Which turns on the Retrofitter. They get to hit me one more time with this goblin. At least one more time, I guess. One card left in their hand. I'm going to discard Duretti. Or no, I'm going to discard Forge Master. Duretti can just chuck Forge Master into play if I ever get there. Land. And might as well attack now. Last turn I was leaving it up to fight the Mishra's Factory, but I don't have to do that anymore. Alright, Retrofitter. Up to you, buddy. Bring it home. If nothing else happens for the rest of this game, I'm winning it. Preordain to swing for the land is hero mode or idiot mode, to be determined. There's 4 lands in my graveyard, 5 here. Play 15, 10 hits. I have all the Mox in too. Ooh. Mess around and find out against the Chain Lightning deck? I don't think so. I'll wait until I have another land, or if they put some additional pressure on that make me need to move forward. Copter does fly. Make a servo. And block. Deck, what do you got for me? Hanger Backwalker. That blocks the Goblin this turn and the Copter next. But they can't attack with both. Oh, the Copter's just lethal if it picks up the sword. Oh, am I just dead? Right, because it costs no mana to do that. I think I have to preordain here and hope that I'm alive. Okay, preordain. Let's do something here. Brazen Borrower. What a tease. It's so close to being the card that I want. Bottom. Right, I'm going to leave Brazen Borrower on top. Just invite my opponent to mess around. I'm going to attack with Leo, because it doesn't matter. Alright, yeah, I'm just dead if they choose to crew and equip, or if they have a second creature to crew with. Will do. Alright. Yeah, that Ravages was pretty good. Discarded Crow Mox and they immediately play Ravages. Good to know. That's a card I have to think about. Ready, pretty slow, but chucking Wormcoil in and out of play, knowing they have Ravages makes me not want Ugin. Maybe this Ashiok is better. Maelstrom Pulse can hit Scooter or Sword, both of which have been important in the last 2 games. I think Maelstrom Pulse is better than Ashiok here, given what we've seen out of their deck. Okay, go again. One more. This hand, kind of awkward. It's close to a turn 2 Leovold. If I draw a black source or green source, I'm there. I'll keep it. I'll play the Pearl, so I can Brazen Borrow, take the pressure off if they do something quick. This does hang my Pearl out for the Emerald Shield Breaker as a nice 1-turn play. I'll eventually have better targets for that. Lanes and Student of Warfare. Student of Warfare is a card I'm happy to target with Brazen Borrower. They just go white, try to soldier up. Here's the Mishra's Bauble. Oh, baby. Or I could just cast Leovold. Yeah, I think I'm putting Leovold into play here. Mox pitch the Maelstrom Pulse. Black, blue, green. Big Leo. Who's destined to be. All right, you can't level up with that. You can hit Leo with that, but I draw a card. Simic Signet. And they put a level on their student. Still a 1/1. Dark Slick Shores and Simic Signet can come into play here. I'm all set up. I'm not worried about Ravages. Warren of the Third Path. I'm a little worried about that. Probably the Chrome Mox. Yeah. Okay. Chrome Mox is dead. You got me. Is it time to Brazen Borrow? I don't think so. It's still just 1. Do I want to metamorph anything? Nope. They have nothing to destroy if I copy Lauren. Looking for a payoff at this point. All dressed up, nowhere to go. Shield Breaker. My god. Right. Pretty harsh on artifacts. There's the 2nd level on Student. There's a 3rd level on Student. I'll bounce the Student right now, since they sank an extra mana into it that they didn't need to. Taking 2 from Lauren, and dropping Brazen Borrower. Time to go on the counterattack. My Signet tapped weird, thanks Moto, but I didn't need that extra mana anyway. Hey! I cast Shriek Maw. It's going to kill Lauren. See if we get a card on the way out. Nope. And I have Metamorph that can copy Shriek Maw, and now we're in evasive 3-power beatdown mode. Student's back. Put some levels on it. Sword of Feast and Famine. Okay. I try really hard to make sure there's nothing to carry that sword ever. Preordained's a good one. Forge Master. No, you're not part of this game. You block Sword of Feast and Famine. This is not where I want to be. I'm going to bottom both of these. Hero's Downfall is exactly where I want to be. Yeah, I think I just hold up Hero's Downfall, let them equip the sword, then they play Emberth, and then I can Metamorph next turn. Because once the sword is on a creature, I can't Shriek Maw it anymore. Heroes D. Oh, I should have filtered through the Simic Signet just to play around Mana Tithe. In a mountain, there's the Shield Breaker. Okay. Everything is according to plan. Helpful Strix, what's up? I can play both of these cards. Blue in the pool. Both of my green cards are already gone, so I'll use black from this land. Or no, that leaves green in the pool anyway. That doesn't matter. Okay, Baleful Strix. And hit the land so I don't even have to take damage. They didn't Mana Tithe me last turn. I don't think they have it. Copy Shriek Maw. Kill your creature. They have 3 cards left in their hand. I have 9 points of evasion to their 5 life points. Or I have 10 points of evasion. Even Strix flies. Whole squad is evasive, unless they have a sweeper here. Showdown is the draw 4. And none of these are sweepers. Light up the stage in 3 lands. Oh, yeah. Off to a good start. Let's keep it rolling.
You come here to level up at Magic. To level up as a software engineer, check out the new YouTube series Dev Better, hosted by the founder of 7 Factor Software and Magic player, Jeremy Duvall. 7 Factor's small teams of high-performing engineers build custom mobile apps, APIs, and highly scalable systems for Fortune 500 companies and ambitious startups with great ideas. If you'd like to hire 7 Factor, or maybe join their team, contact them through their website at 7factor.io.
And don't forget to subscribe to 7 Factors YouTube for every episode of Dev Better.
I'm on the play for round 2 with a turn 2 Leovold. I'm going to keep. How do I have to sequence these lands? Blooming Marsh gives me green, Island gets me blue, Pitching Hero's Downfall gives me black. Okay, I can play the Blooming Marsh. Firebluff Canal, suspend Ancestral Vision. Wow, it would be a shame if somebody Leovolded that. Blue. Black. Leovold. Whammy. Ancestral Vision ticks down. Just a matter of time. Is it Signet? You got it. Play my Badlands and attack. Rakdos Signet. Okay, we have similar decks here, at least trying to do similar things on at least one axis. Forge Daddy. I bet your deck doesn't do this, though. Attacking with Leo. When it's at 14, and it's time for the Forge Father. Yeah, no surprise there. Having all that mana and not casting a spell certainly felt like a counter magic. Visions is 1 turn away. They got to answer Leo now. They did not answer Leo now. Blackclave Cliffs, disappointing. I am not going to attack with Leo. I don't know what flash threats are in the format, but I'm not about to unlock their Ancestral Recall by running Leovold into some creature. Through the Breach, I was right. What's coming through the Breach here? Hopefully it's something I can Brazen Borrow. Grave Titan. Okay. I can Petty Theft this. It ends up back in their hand. Is that better or worse for me than just taking my beats now? I think it's worse if it ends up back in their hand. Here's the Ancestral Vision. Stuffed it. Good work, Leovold. Jiki Jiki Mirror Breaky. Okay. That resolves. They're going to try to copy Grave Titan, and now I'll bounce it. Which still doesn't solve my long-term problem here of there's a Grave Titan in their hand. They're 1 mana source away from deploying. On deck. Ponder. Find me some action. Or I could just play the Worm Coil now. Yeah, that's probably the investment I need to make in the future. Okay, Worm Coil's in play. I'm not attacking Leo into the zombies that can kill it. And now we're just throwing hammers at each other. Just going to hope they don't draw a mana source for as long as possible. Let me get up under it. Let me find my mana leak before we go crazy. Opponent's got a really cool deck over there. We should probably expect Pestermite or Deceiver Exarch if they're doing cheeky stuff. At least respect it. Faithless Looting straight into Leovold. That's a good play. I hope we get a Shame Concede here, and that wasn't on purpose. Oh, it was on purpose, Tilt. Yeah, they had a Reanimate and a copy. Shit. All right. That's pretty good. Worm Coil is not embarrassing here, though. I'm going to take 6 and try to find an answer to Kiki. Escape Leveler, almost an answer to Kiki. Goblin Welder, Mox Pearl Retrofitter. Does Goblin Welder help me? Don't have a way to discard the Cityscape Leveler. And there's no mana in my hand or graveyard. This Mox Pearl doesn't get me to Cityscape Leveler. Like next turn, gotta shuffle this. Preordain with no blue sources. Bummer. Okay. The beatings will continue until morale improves. Yeah, they got over the hump before I did here. That Faithless Looting line was cool. Looting into Leovold for the payout. Yeah, tell me about all these zombies they have. I assume they've done the math here and that I'm dead. I can't come back from this, even if I'm not literally dead right now. Maybe keeping the Goblin Welder and like looping Worm Coil was a thing, but not with Kiki Jiki. That doesn't even beat that. Okay, what do I have here? The Dam and the Maelstrom Pulse. Once again, looking reasonable. Probably Pulse is better than Dam. Mana Leak's good. I still like the Dark Confidant. I need the Cityscape Leveler. Maybe Hangerback Walker isn't great. This could be a good Ashiok matchup. They want to play Draw Go and try to combo out. I could mess with their business. Duretti and Welder both seem important if I'm going to outgrind the Grave Titan. Ugin does sweep up any number of Grave Titan tokens and the Titan itself and Kiki Jiki. I have no recourse to get this into play other than tap 8 mana for it. Still might be worth it. I don't have a lot of cards I want to cut at this point, though. Leveler has combos with my deck. Ugin doesn't. They're both hanging out at the 8 spot. Yeah, maybe I need to plan to just not be under the foot of a zombie army rather than try to answer a zombie army. And I think Pulse also clears out an army of zombies. Probably better than Ashiok. Okay, I'll try it like this. Okay, this looks like a vintage hand. I'm gonna keep. Show me what you're working with. Oh, you also have Lotus. You have Gitaxian Probe. This hand looks a lot like mine, actually. Just some mana and some cantrips and hope it goes somewhere. I'm gonna preordain this turn. I've got Jace, Friend's Prodigy, and Bayou. The Bayou does cast the Maelstrom Pulse, but I don't know how important this Maelstrom Pulse is. I'm gonna send the Bayou, keep the Jace. Alright, your turn. Gitaxian Probe. Now nobody has any secrets. Well, they have 2 secrets to my 0. The card they drew off Probe and the card they drew for turn. Mountain, looting. Don't put a big monster in your graveyard, maybe? Just discard 2 normal cards. Yeah, 2 lands discarded. Lotus Bloom put on suspend. Mox Diamond gives me the Maelstrom Pulse if I want it at some point. Team Vents. Seeing the Signet here. Yeah, I could just pulse the Signet at the cost of a land. Oh, Mana Leak goes a long way here. I'm gonna activate Jace and probably discard Cityscape Leveler. Yeah, that's a safe bet. Then I can ponder, see if I find another land. I can find a land. Did find Dark Confidant with Leovold under it. Don't shuffle and play Dark Confidant. That's my plan. Pass the turn. Hoping I don't lose right now. As if I get to hold up Mana Leak with multiple draw engines around. Feeling okay with that situation. Jace does flip into Planeswalker mode next turn if I want it to. Or on the next activation. There's a Swamp. They have Frantic Search and 3 mystery cards. Imperial Seal. Okay, they can Imperial Seal, Frantic Search into whatever they sealed for, and then go off. Yeah, if they have a combo here, they have an A, they just drew B. This is cool. Maybe should have left up Mana Leak. Yeah, but the Ponder was looking for an additional land anyway, just didn't find it. Elish Norn Grand Cenobite. Can beat that card. Animate Dead, targeting my Cityscape Leveler. That's smart. I'm gonna need to find a green source. Yeah, because Shriekmaw kills Elish Norn. I know my top card isn't helpful here. Oof. Good beats. It also took a card out of my graveyard so Jace doesn't flip. I don't know that that matters though. Oh, I can just play Mox Diamond, but that's my green source as soon as I find a land. Like if I yeet Mox Diamond into my graveyard, I could cycle Shark Typhoon, try to hit a land that also flips Jace. This is a tricky turn. I currently know... Oh, I don't know my top card because the Shark Typhoon... Yeah, it was Bob Leo Shark Typhoon that I saw off of the Ponder. So this is wild. I could activate Jace or cycle Shark Typhoon into a wild card. If it's any land, I can deal with the Leveler. Do I want a Planeswalker? Do I need a Planeswalker? I think I just need to tap Jace Friend's Prodigy and hope it works. So, yeah. Cycling Shark Typhoon for 0, just to get the cycle, puts a card in my graveyard, which Jace can flip, but then I would need land, runner off of the 2 draws rather than just land off the Jace flip. Okay, I'll go for the Jace flip. Any land. Baleful Strix is not a land. I'll discard probably Leovold, though that turns off Chrome Mox as an out, but any land is an out. Leovold into the graveyard, please. Don't love to see it. Then blue-black, it's time for Baleful Strix. There's a Death Touch creature. There's my land. Don't think I can afford... Oh, I have to run it out, because that gives me Mana Leak. They decide to destroy my Mox Diamond with the Cityscape Leveler. Congrats on your million IQ. I have a Death Touch creature in play that can trade with this thing. I have 1 card left. zoom. Shit. Well, that hurts. So I guess they might still destroy Leovold. Okay. Leovold comes back into play. It's a 1/1. Let's see if they destroy Leovold or my Mox. They are destroying Leovold. Would like to draw a card, yes. Then Leovold dies. And now I need to rip a black source. I don't believe this Power Stone gets me anywhere. I think I have to cycle Shark Typhoon. Just emergency cycle. I need a ton more mana before this makes a creature anyway. Hero's Downfall. Does that do it? It doesn't. I need an actual mana source. No! Fuck you, deck. Can I be alive? If I Hero's Downfall, the Leveler, Ilish Norn is not lethal on her own. Okay, play Darkslick Shores. Can't be used to cast a non-artifact spell. Evoking is still casting. There's nothing clever to do here. I'm gonna Maelstrom Pulse. Green, black. That's handled. I'm at 2 on board. Don't have Lightning Bolt. How about that? There is a Faithless Looting in their graveyard they can do stuff with. There it goes. Put a bunch of bad cards in the graveyard. Sneak Attack hit the graveyard. We know they have Counterspell in their deck. They have exactly 5 mana to cast it and pay for Mana Leak right now. Alright, Hero's Downfall. Black, black, Oilless. Okay, they have something. Cycling Miscalculation. Okay, just not quite good enough. And that's in the graveyard. We are pseudo doing it. Okay, they're passing the turn. Saying there's a chance. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This is not enough to level. It is enough to call out the Forge Master, still leaving up Mana Leak. Alright, yep. There's the Counterspell. That was clearly the card they just drew. Because I think they would have won the game, or tried to win the game, if they had it last turn. Phyrexian Metamorph, that's interesting. I could Metamorph and copy Signet. Seems so bad, though, against this Reanimator deck. I think I just have to pass here and wait for the chips to fall, whatever they are. They're tapping mana. They got something. Cycling Zagoth Triumph. Deal. And played a land. Okay, now I have a land. I can unearth Cityscape Leveler, but there's nothing to really level. Just gonna wait. If they elbow tap and cast some giant monster, I could leak it or copy it, then shriek it. Leak it or shriek it. Theme deck. Dual decks, leaks versus shrieks. I could copy this Welder right now. I think I'd rather make a Leveler next turn. Because if they have removal for Welder, I get double blown out if I try to Metamorph it. Okay, they just went land go. Like that. Lay out this island. Cityscape Leveler is a cast and attack trigger, which means that if I put it into play and then copy it with Phyrexian Metamorph, I don't get a trigger. I don't know that that trigger is helping me right now. I'm gonna float a colorless off Power Stone and then switch Power Stone with Leveler. I would like 2 of these. Of that, I am quite certain. Phyrexian Metamorph, get in. Copy Leveler. Okay, I'm ready to do big things next turn if I'm still alive. I've presented lethal. Ilish Norn does not beat this. Dig through time. That's a good spell. That looks at most of their deck at this point. There are 13 cards left over there. Just cast something that costs a lot. They have 9 mana available. I need you to cast a 7-drop here without making a land drop. Okay, here we go. Moment of truth. Gilded Drake. Don't like that. Okay. You've gilded one of my levelers. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If they jam Kiki Jiki here, I can counter it. They took the real leveler, which means that when I level this, it goes back to my graveyard, where I can unearth it or weld it. See if they have a plan for that, or if it was just they're doing something. Seaver Exarch with enough mana up to tap my creature naturally. Okay. Seaver Exarch taps my leveler. You got it. Okay. I can flip leveler into. Oh, this thing has trample. Shit. Yeah, that's bad for me. Shriekmaw is non-black, non-artifact. That's why this is such a problem right now. Without the Forge Master, I guess, is big enough to block effectively. Okay, Shriekmaw, go finish off this Deceiver Exarch. Alrighty, I can go to 1 here. Just be in a ton of trouble. Oh, you have the Kiki Jiki too. Oh, Creeping Tar Pit, right. Just face up, dead on board. That was well played. Yeah, that was a good dig through time. My opponent picked me apart. And none of the artifacts in my graveyard saved me. GG. Yeah, they actually took the correct. I was talking about how when the one that they took dies, I get it back. But they took the correct one because then I couldn't weld it into my graveyard immediately, escape it. So they actually did all of that extremely well. My opponent played well. Their deck's great. That was an awesome match. On to the final round.
For the absolute best Magic the Gathering apparel on the market, check out the link in the video description to coalesceapparel.shop and be sure to use the code BoshNRoll for 10% off when you check out.
I'm on the play for the final round. I have a turn 2 Duretti. See, keep this. I think I discard a basic island to the Mox. The Signet makes blue, so does the diamond. The Signet doesn't make black or red. That's my tiebreaker. Bang. Okay. Don't cast Ancient Grudge. Or Thoughtseize. Okay, good. We're getting a turn. Oh, baby. Yeah. Sounds good. I'm gonna cast Duretti. And I'm gonna loot away both of these cards. Escape Leveler in the bin, where I can use it next turn. And there's a Mox. Sure, I'll run it out. Just let them know what they're dealing with. Black. Am I dead? Night's Whisper. Sure. Deal. Sacrifice an artifact. If you do, return target artifact from your graveyard to the battlefield. I do intend on doing that. I'm just gonna preordain first. Okay. Bottom the Bayou, top the Dark Confidant. Play my land, play Dark Confidant. Black red. And then I don't think I need the Mox anymore. And there we go. Pretty solid turn 3. See if the opponent can top it. Or if Bob can kill me first. So many mysteries. Yeah. Okay, opponent has 2 Swamps and Night's Whisper in their deck. What do I do with that information? Probably just slam my same deck again. I'm wondering if Maelstrom Pulse should just be in the deck. I've boarded it in every time I've seen cards from my opponent. I wonder if it's better than this Hangerback Walker. I actually have plenty of artifacts to support my artifact themes. I was playing Hangerback kind of as an artifact, but I don't know that I need that effect. I could play Ashiok or the Pulse here. I'm gonna play the Pulse, just give myself some outs to random nonsense. I think that was a more correct build. Turn 1 Jace. Keep. This is why we take Moxen. Grass, boo. Yeah, they had to. It's great though, they had to take the card that just slows me down a little rather than my actual spell. Wormcoil and Duretti, that's a combo. But that is a red card with no red source, but I'm in. Top. Let's go. I got Jace. Jace is here to loot, fixes my mana, puts the Wormcoil in the graveyard for Duretti. There's that Night's Whisper again. How many of those did they draft? Blooming Marsh and Jace. Get after it. Okay, this is where we start seeing the other cards in their deck. Are they some sort of black control deck? Am I about to get stormed out? Are they going to reanimate me? Oh, they are going to reanimate me. Okay. Entomb for Grizzlemirrand. Yeah, they're going to reanimate me big time. All right, well, let's see how much they can do. Like, this isn't a constructed deck. I don't even know if Unmask and Grief are in the cube. All right, Black Lotus is certainly in the cube. Now the whole world just opened back up. I am holding a soft answer to Grizzlebrand. Oh, not anymore. Oh no, I'm getting full legacied. My god. All right. Well, I briefly thought this game might remain competitive, but it won't. Yeah, if that was just Grizzlebrand go, we're in business, but Grizzlebrand into Black Lotus into another monster, no thanks. All right, my opponent's deck is nutty bonkers. Everything I have that could interact with this deck is already in. Dam, I guess, can kill a creature. I already brought in the Pulse. Welder is how I keep up. I don't think I need to Hail Mary the Bolas's Citadel or the Blight Steel. Metamorph's good, Borrower, all this removal. Solid. I just have to figure out what my cut is here. It might just be the Forge Master. I was so excited about that, built my deck around it, and then ended up cutting the two biggest payoffs, which are Citadel and Blight Steel. And we've just been kind of grinding out Cityscape Levelers ever since. But no, I think against this Reanimate deck, especially with me on the play, as many routes to Leveler as possible are good. Kind of eyeballing Gitaxian Probe. Or Shriekmaw, they're mono black. Yeah, okay. Shriekmaw, get out. Well, they're Reanimator, so they could do anything. Like, they could have Eilish Norn. But I brought in Dam and Maelstrom Pulse on top of the Hero's Downfall and Brazen Borrower. Yeah, okay. Shriekmaw's the cut. Found it. On the play, I will keep this hand. It's fair, but my deck does have that gear if I want it. Leovold, Maelstrom Pulse, no sources of green. Shuffle. Our Confidant, cool. I like that one. They're passing the turn. Ooh, that's tempting. I could exile Dark Confidant to Chrome Mox instead. That gives me insulation if they go Entomb Reanimate here. Then I cycle Shark Typhoon and play Baleful Strix next turn. Yeah, I think this is the responsible play. We've seen Entomb Reanimate, seen Black Lotus. If I can pick off an Archon before it kills me, I'm just going to put Bob under there. You can't pitch Strix to that because it's an artifact, and Chrome Mox specifically says non-artifact creature. Or non-artifact card. Okay. They entombed the Grizzle. I don't regret any decisions yet. Exhume. Yep, sure. See how deep they go here. They do have a Lotus to swing for. There it is. Yeah, this deck with and without Lotus are just completely different animals. They make their hand great. I kill their creature. I put a Death Touch thing in. Maybe we play this game, but the fact they can Grizzle into a second monster pretty reliably is not reasonably beatable by a normal deck. Collective Brutality. Use an instant or sorcery card. How about this one? So they're going to miss on the take, but they can just reanimate Grizzlebrand. Okay, F6. They discarded a swamp to escalate it into lose a life, or lose 2 life. They just burnt off that floating mana and passed the turn. I don't know if that means anything, but I'd like to draw my mana lake here. Discarded Archon and Swamp. Ace Friend's Prodigy. Very close to a card I want. I'm gonna go blue-black Baleful Strix and hope that I draw an untapped blue source off the top for Jace. Blue source? Shit. Oh, Brazen Borrower. Don't hate it. And they could have easily drawn 7 more cards last turn and just didn't, so I imagine their hand can do what they want to do this turn. Yeah, we're at the phase of the draft where that pack 1 early counter spell that I didn't take, I'm full of regret about. I'm discarding Wormcoil Engine. I know they could reanimate it, but there's also a Grizzlebrand in the graveyard. Like, they already have fucked up targets. Oh, Recurring Nightmare. Okay. So they can discard their Archon to bring back Grizzle. And they're at 18. Untap blue source. Okay, we're in business. I can play Jace, which can slow down my opponent's nonsense. The Brazen Borrower clearing the Grizzlebrand means they can't Nightmare it and loop the Archon. Okay, just snapping off a draw 7. Makes sense. Duress. Okay, you know I have Shark Typhoon. And that's gone. Can't take Brazen Borrower with this. This is the card that I actually need this turn. There's still a Reanimate in their deck somewhere. Shallow Grave. FML. Well, that's going to kill me. Guess I have to Petty Theft Grizzlebrand on the way out here. They get to clear my board and bash me for 12 and draw 2 cards and gain 6 life. Oh my god. Yeah, their deck's a lot better than mine. And the Grave exiles the Archon, so now the Recurring Nightmare in their hand is not good. But if they discard Grizzlebrand and just have any card, it's suddenly good again. Any creature. Just discarding Grizzlebrand, Night's Whisper, and 5 lands. Okay, I'll play out my land and pass the turn and prepare to be dead to Grizzle. 5 mana. Crypt Breaker. Yeah, Crypt Breaker with Nightmare. Oh, and Pack Rat. Brazen Borrower. Do I think this can deal 17 before I'm dead? Good card. An uncastable Evold. Alright, they got me. That was an extremely powerful deck. Okay, so that was a 1-2 performance in a deck that felt really good to me. I imagine the cube experts out there could point me to 1 to 3 picks throughout the draft that would have made this draft a lot better. And we beat the deck that was trying to play fair, and we got smeared by the decks that were going over the top of what we were doing. We were kind of a control deck without many counterspells. I think like one actual counterspell would have made this deck great, like Force of Will, Force of Negation, counterspell, what have you. That game where I just died with Mana Leak in my hand, narrowly died with Mana Leak in my hand against an opponent who was top decking. If that was actual counterspell, we win that game. I spent a lot of picks on like the Bolas' Citadel, the Cabal Ritual, like that kind of stuff early on before settling into this control pseudo artifact combo deck. Maybe there was something in there I could have done. Thinking about that Gaia's Cradle, then a bunch of Mana Dorks that went by, and then we got opposition later. It could be in a totally different deck, but I'm not unhappy with my deck. I just think it's like 2 cards away from being really solid. But that's the life in Vintage Cube. Sometimes your opponent has Black Lotus in your deck, and you don't. This was a lot of fun. Femi, thank you for sponsoring the league. I'll have another one of these for you next week. Everybody else, thanks for watching. I am always open to constructive criticism. Emphasis on constructive. Magic players, take it easy, you weirdos. But yeah, cube rules, not my normal thing, but I do enjoy doing this, and I imagine somebody with a little more experience than me, I imagine Caleb Dorward could have gotten a 3-0 with the same draft. Just massaging those picks a little bit here and there. It's so close. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Check out the Patreon in the video description, and I'll see you next time.